or day 3 of Terraform from the uh, last video of Terraform. Okay, so go through that, and then git ignore. You can see there is one file in our GitHub repository, right? So you can see there is one .terraform. I am asking to ignore. Why I am asking .terraform to ignore this GitHub? If you go to your this Visual Studio, you can see there is .terraform file, right? And it is of no use for us. Okay, if you are uploading it to GitHub repository, it is of no use. Anyway, it will be again created in our agent. Okay, when Terraform runs there, so it's not required. That's why we are asking Git to ignore these files if it is there in that folder also. Okay, that is the basically work of a Git ignore file. Backend we have seen yesterday. Backend configuration. Main file we have providers, another version where we are mentioning okay which version of Azure RM we need in this provider, then other blocks, right? And there is some block for storage account, second storage account, then we have a file called variable. Yesterday we have discussed about variable, right? Then Tony asked how to pass a variable in runtime or how to override a variable, right? We have seen variable how to like update a variable in line, right? Like Terraform apply hyphen hyphen var, then value like key of that variable, and then value for that variable. We have seen that yesterday. So today let's try to add a tfvars, okay, and how this tfvar looks like. It's easy thing, okay. So even if you are having a tfvar file also, you have to create a variable. So on top of that you can have a tfvar which will just override these variables, okay. So again, we'll do it from web only. We'll say terraform dot tfvars example file. Okay. Let's go to GitHub. Okay. So your tfvar file will look like something this. Okay. Just copy and go to your this. We have created a tfvars, but we have not defined anything in this tfvar, right? So what all things I can define in tfvar? In variable, whatever component I have defined. Okay, so first I have given rg name, right? So copy rg name, go to tfvars, just paste it tf rg name and give a value to it. If I'm going to, okay, those who are not mute, please go on mute. Just give the name. So let's give rg2, or you can give rg3 also. Okay, tfvars. Let's give rg23. That's okay. We don't have these things, so let me change or delete them. Total variable we have created. We have created variable for location. Let's copy this. Just give location. So this is the way like we define location in AWS, like US East 1 in our case. If I'm going for East US, then it is East US like this. Uh, that is the difference of like defining location in both the AWS and Azure. So what all, one is VM name is there. Okay, let's go give the VM name. Okay. Change the name to ABC.
Because there is no need to separate both the terms like East and US by the dash.
Not required. It will understand. So if you give
Okay.
separate also, it will understand. Okay. So I given like I have added a tfvars file, right? Now if I'm going In VM we were facing some problem yesterday, correct? Mm, yep, VM we were facing some problem yesterday, so let's comment them. Rest all were working fine. Main backend also it was not working, so let's comment the backend also. That's fine. Main Terraform state we all are okay with that. Okay, let's go to terminal. Mm, Terraform minority. Okay, so you can see what we are trying to do here. We are trying to pass a variable using .tvars. Okay, so we have some value here in variable which is defined as rg2, east-us, and vm3. But I wanted to override those value, or I want to pass a new value. How I can do? I can do using tvars file. Okay, so simply create a tvars file. Okay, you can pass all the values for variable which you have created earlier. Okay, let's say there are these three. If there are more, you can pass values to those variable. Okay, in tvars, just give the name of variable and value of variable. Okay, and that's it. Nothing much in tvars. So in general, Terraform has like TF has highest value uh, in comparison to .tf. Okay, and so if you pass two values, one is in variable.tf and same value in tf it will take value of tf. Okay, any confusion till there?
No.
Okay, so how we will do that? We'll say Terraform apply, okay, hyphen var, hyphen var. What is the command? We'll give mm, file. Okay, let me get the command. I also don't remember. Okay, Terraform apply. Yes. Please go on mute. Yesterday we have seen right that command. Right here. Please go on mute. Someone is unmuted. Okay. So you can see this is the extension you have to add along with Terraform apply. Okay. So what we have to do? Terraform apply hyphen var file is equal to this. What is the name of our TFS file? We'll give that variable variable or TFS. Okay. Okay. So apply var file is equal to variable dot TFS. Like that you can say, and I can say apply. Okay. So I have applied. Let's see what output will be. Okay, you can see they are saying 4 it will be added and 5 will be destroyed. That means the old name will be destroyed and new name will be replaced. You can say old name is RG1 and new name it is taking RG23, right? This ISO means it will replace that, correct? So it clearly shows that it is taking name from my TFWare file, correct? Also, like in case of, let's say we are using environment variable, right? What are the more usage of this TFWares? We can store our application ID. What is that application ID? We have, we remember, right? We have defined, not going to apply, that will work. Okay, so you can see we have defined the environment variable here, right? We should not define this environment variable in our code. Okay, so we can store these environment variables in tfware. We can pass them using tfware. Okay, it's not getting complete. Complete. Okay, I have credentials somewhere else also. I can store my credentials here. Okay, and I can call them in from variable, right? I can define a variable for client ID, client secret. I can define a variable for subscription ID, and I can create for four of them. And there is some way to authenticate using service principal, right? So Terraform authenticate using service principal. If you go to that, not this one. Okay, so this is the one which we are using now. Okay, so here you can say, right, how to authenticate provider Azure RM. Then you can define subscription, client, secret, and tenant ID, all of them. So we should not store this in our code. Okay, so what we can do, we can create variable for these four, then use a tfware file to store them. Okay, and this tfware file we will not upload to our repository. Okay, what we will do, instead we will upload it as a secret file. Where I can upload it as a secret file? We have seen DevOps, right? The pipeline here. Okay, let's go to library. Okay, in library you have seen adding variable groups, right? Or variable in library, where you can use add password and other things, right? Let's say I want to add a secret file. This is to add a secret value, right? I wanted to add a secret value where I can secret file where I can add. We have something called secret files. Okay, I can add a secure file here. Okay, so I can add that Terraform here. Terraform 2. So this is my TFS file which contain all the details. I can say okay. So I have added
Vikas,
one secret value.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Uh, is secret file is basically used for storing the credential of of our identity.
Yes, secret file you can store any secrets there in secret file. Basically, it will be having multiple secrets, right? That's what we call a secret file. Otherwise, it will be a secret value. So
Okay,
any file which you don't want to expose to web, you can keep it inside a secret file.
okay,
Okay, and then you can download the same way. We have called the variable group, right? There is way to call secret files. You can call that, and so the secret file will be downloaded while my task is running.
a
And
.tf file is basically used for the storing the credential.
don't get confused. .tf is nothing to do with credentials. Credential, no one want to expose it to web. They just want
Okay,
to keep it safe.
okay. For what purpose we use the .tf file, var.tf file?
Just now we have discussed that only, right?
I'm
Which
not
file you are
getting yet about
talking? Which file you are talking about?
that. About the var tf.
TF wars, not var TF, right? We have
Okay.
said, okay, I wanted to pass, I have defined some variable here, correct? RG name I have defined location, correct? I have defined something, right? So if someone wants to reuse this, what they will do? They can take complete code, they can edit the variable and they can deploy. Instead, the second option is no need to edit anything in your variable file. Go to tf and here it is easy option, right? You have RG name. It's very easy options, right? Okay, just change the RG name here, change the location, change VM name, change credentials, and then just deploy. So if you are using a tf file, it will overwrite whatever there it is in variable.tf. In this way, you can create new files using your uh, new resources using your tf file. Okay, so that is the use of tf. Basically, you can override, you can make it as a secure file, you can store it in DevOps secure file, then you can download in your pipeline and use this tf. So it's good for save like keeping safe your credential. That is the one use of tf, one or two use. Okay, so tf has the highest value. If you are defining two values, one is variable.tf and one in this tf, it will take the tf value. Okay, so that is our
Can I explain from my side? But I have some doubt. .tf file is containing all type of resources content, and .tf var file that also contain the same content, but having the credential of my id.
no. See, don't get
Is it?
confused. It's like simply we are passing a variable from somewhere else. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. Earlier we used to pass variable from here. Okay. This variable. Now I'm passing variable from this variable value from this tier vars. Okay. Nothing else. So it's like two way to pass a variable value. Here I am just giving some default name. Here I am updating that default name, overriding that default name. That's it. Okay. It will help you in automating automation part. Okay. If you are having multiple variables, multiple files, you will not able to go there and update everything. It will be easy to update the variable tfvars. Okay. So yes, don't get confused. Just try to use it. You will understand.
Okay.
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 Okay. So that was our .tf. What else? Anyone has any other question in Terraform which you wanted to me to cover? Okay, so we have not covered the how to create multiple. This is common question they will ask, right? So let's try to do that. Okay, let's try to see how I can create a multiple source group or multiple virtual machine or using some of the variable. Okay, so yesterday we are going through this. So we have seen there is count, there is for each, and there is something called uh, what you call I'm forgetting that for each, right? So let's try to see how if wanted to create multiple resources, how we can do. Okay. Again, I will search the same thing. Mostly you will find them in GitHub, existing code, which required a little bit of modification. Else you can create your own Terraform file. Okay, so Terraform create multiple VM, multiple Azure VM. So there are some document from this also, Microsoft also. So please follow the official document only, either Microsoft or Terraform. Okay, once you learn, then you can follow some others. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you can see they are creating multiple network interface, right? How they are creating? They have given this count is equal to 2. Correct? So let's copy this. Go to your page. So you are seeing we have to add one thing. How many numbers we wanted to create? Count is equal to 2. I wanted to create 2 resource group. Okay. Then I can see there are some fancy names here, right? And what is that fancy name? They have added something called count.index, right? So right now what I was doing, I was giving this variable group a name from variable, right? And that name was like RG1 and RG2, right? So what I will do, I will say RG, okay? Then this value, this is like, this will take value from this count, okay? So it will start from 0 and it will go to 1. So it will be RG0 and it will be RG1, okay? So when I say count.index, this is my count, and then index is like it will go to 1 2 3. So if I'm saying 4, it will go from 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so let's try. Let it be count 4. I will save this, then we'll see Terraform plan. Okay, sorry, let's add
If you type 4, then it will count to 0, 1, 2, 3. That
yes,
I'm thinking so.
yes. Terraform init, Terraform plan, missing instance key, pnet.tf line 22, pnet.tf line 22. Count cells. Okay, okay. It is also good. So you have dot location, create location, I guess. Location also it should be. This one. We'll do anything. So if you're giving count, your other resources will also impact, right? If you're calling them. So yeah, please go through that also. Okay, how to make the changes. Okay, let's see if it's work. Otherwise, we will remove them. It's fine. There is some issues coming. I'm not going to address that now. I'll just remove them. Okay. Because you wanted to see how count works. Okay. Okay. So if I'm going to Terraform plan, I should get like it is trying to create four virtual machine. Sorry, four resource group. You can see right. It says four to add. Now what is this four to add? You can see resource group RG2, RG3, RG1, and RG0. Correct. So RG1, where it is? RG1 will be first replaced to RG0, which is already created, right? So one is RG0, then RG1, then we have RG2, and then we have RG3. Okay. So in total, it will be creating four resource group from our list count. Okay. So count is the one of the option to create multiple resources in Terraform. Okay, but if you are deleting something, let's say you have already created using count and you wanted to remove one. Okay, so that time it will be like removing the last one or those kind of problem it will be coming. So you have to work little bit on index. Don't go in that depth now. Once you start working in Terraform, and I guess Terraform is very easy, nothing to do. If you try creating two, three resources, uh, just start using and you will be familiar with this. And I find it really helpful. It's very easy, nothing to do. We have variable and that is very easy to define. We have tier vars and then different uh, what you call different TF files we can have. So this is a normal automation of like level one for using Terraform, where you can have TF file for different resources. Then you can have a variable or TF any normal TF values. Okay, and automate it. So there are two more level of automation where you can use like modules. Then next level of automation is you can use looping. Okay, for each and others. Okay, other type of loop. This count doesn't work well. It doesn't give you the naming. Okay, you don't want RG1, you want your own name. In that case, this count doesn't work. You have to use for each loop. Okay, so that is again next level of automation. We are just going through introduction and some interview questions from the Terraform because it's important for us. That's it. So yes, create some resources using Terraform. Go through, create some pipeline. Try to deploy using pipeline this Terraform files. Okay, and try to pass value using tier vars. If you are able to store this tier var in secret file, try to do that. Call that secret file in your pipeline. Okay, if you're able to do this and able to like get all the interview, just in at the same time also just get the question and answer from web like Terraform interview questions and write it in your way. If there is some good answer, you can copy that also. That is, there is not a problem. So and this is all about Terraform. Let me know if anyone wanted to discuss anything else on Terraform. I can discuss that, and then we'll move to next topic.
because
Hmm.
count is basically using are used in this page as it perform their role like while we perform in the programming in looping where we do the one set of condition through which it will create same type of code multiple time.
Yeah, that's what it is doing. That's correct.
Okay.
That's what it is doing. Anyone else? Just take 2 minutes and see if you have any question, even from interview, we can discuss. I'll get some water. Give
No, sir.
me So yes, should be more than enough. Don't try to going complete deep. That's what I'm saying from beginning. Try to learn what is required now. Even after getting a job, also you will get enough time to brush up. So if you're getting selected somewhere, just ask the project what all things they are doing and brush up those. Getting job is the easiest part. Surviving there is the difficult part if you have not worked on Azure. So if you got selected somewhere, start giving time to learn those things, which resources they are using, which pipeline they are using. Okay. So yes, if you got selected, try to schedule a call with manager or your lead, whoever is there, and try to understand what all resources they are using, what type of pipeline they are using, and start practicing them. Okay, you don't know what kind of team you are going to. Maybe there is some urgent requirement, and you will get onboarded from the first day only. There may be some normal project where you will get time to settle down, but don't wait for that. Once you are in notice period, start preparing for like start upfront. Okay, try preparing, go through all resources in details. Okay, take a note of like whatever resources they have said, whatever pipeline they have said. Try to create your own. Okay, do some POCs before joining that company. Okay, that will help you a lot to survive there. Correct. That's all about Terraform. Let me see what all topic we are playing. Yeah, someone was saying something.
Because this TF var file is usually define the values, right? Of
Yes,
like,
that's correct. So we have said, right, like even I can pass value directly to. So if I'm going to main.tf, I can pass value directly here also, right? Name, right? So we should
yep.
not edit the main file. So what we have done, we have edited, like we have added a variable file where we have added some variable for it. Okay, and from that variable we are passing. Okay? So even if it is a big environment, you will find it difficult to update this variable file also. There are environment where you will find hundred of variables are there. Okay, in those cases, what will happen? Like you may mislead something, right? So what we'll do, we'll have one more file over on top of this tf file. We will have a .tf file. Okay, and here like you can see, this is like not that much easier, right? Here it is like, okay, variable, what type of it, and all those things we are defining. But here in TFVARs, we are just giving RG name. We are copying RG name, we are giving that, and we are passing a value. So any value which has to be passed from TFVARs, underlying it should have a variable defined for that. Okay. So we are basically assigning some value to these variables using TFVARs. Okay. And TFVARs has highest value. Okay. So if you are
Okay.
defining something here and you are defining something here, it will take value from TFVARs. Okay. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Lucas.
yep. Thank you. So try to create some resources. I can see there is knowledge there. Akshadhar, Ajit, Antonian, Vishal. Okay. So let me go to Excel. See first. Okay. Load balancer we have completed. VMSS also we have completed. Terraform I told that I will be reviewing it. That is also completed. Then we have Azure Web App. Right. Okay, let's discuss something about Azure Web App. Then 1 week we will take about just we'll talk about DevOps. Okay, there are so many other things also in DevOps. Okay, so maybe next week we will be finishing. So next week is like uh, by Saturday. So okay, we have DevOps artifact repository, test plan, tooling in DevOps, then CD pipelines is pending. Okay, So for today, it will be fine. Tooling will take a little bit more, where we will understand different type of tooling which is used in DevOps. Okay, so we'll just go through the names and usage of them. We will be not using them. So if you get some kind of scenario in your team, maybe you can search for that tool if you're knowing okay which tool to use where, and then you can explore more in that. Okay. So test plans, tools, CD pipeline, and firewall, and DevOps artifact repository. Okay, you're good with that. So let's go through this Azure Web App. There's more here also I have added. So we will be using same Azure Web App. Okay. What is happening? Okay. We will be deploying in Azure Web App. Okay. So first we will deploy it normally. Then we will deploy this using a CD pipeline. Okay. So that we'll understand the flow. Okay. How we'll get the code, how we'll build the code. Okay, all those things we'll see here. Okay, how to deploy to Azure Web App. So it can be a .NET based. Maybe I will try to use YAML based pipeline, which is pending. Okay, so next 2 days, let's go with YAML based Azure Web App. Okay, so today let's try to understand what is Azure Web App. Okay, then tomorrow we'll jump into DevOps. Okay, we have some time. So Azure Web App is part of what? IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS? Anyone can comment on that? Any answers?
It's the part of
It's a
PaaS.
pass, yeah, pass based.
Okay, that's correct. Okay. Azure Web App. Okay. You can say, yeah, you are saying here at Azure Web App for Azure pipelines. Okay. So we can say app services, app service plan. Okay. We'll go with app services. Okay, right now we don't have any app service, so it's saying it's like create and build, deploy, manage powerful web, mobile, or API apps for employee or customer using a single backend. Okay, build a standard. You can use .NET, Java, Node.js, PHP, Python, anything. Okay. So again, resource creation using portal is again similar, right? So okay, which resource group I wanted to deploy? Let's go with RG1. We'll delete that RG today. Web app name should be unique, same as your storage account. Okay, so you can see AG web TF test T. Okay, you will get a URL to access your web app. Okay, what type of web app you wanted this to be? Is it like a code based? Is it Docker container or a static web app? Okay, it will ask you. So we'll go with code based. Then it will ask a runtime stack. Okay, you can say you have different version of .NET, ASP.NET, Java, Node, PHP, and all others, right? So based on your requirement, you can select your. Okay. Then if it is .NET, you can say it automatically selected Windows, right? Let's say I'm going for Node. You can see it changed to Linux. Okay. Or even if you know what type of operating system you need, you can select. You can change. Okay. So that is their default setting. Okay. Then region we all are aware. So how our app service will be built? It is a platform, correct? We don't have any CPU or memory directly created as a size, correct? So here it's something we have called Windows plan or app service plan. Okay. Here in service plan, you can select different sites. You can say there is dev test. In dev test, you have F1. Okay. In F1, you will get some sort of memory like 1 GB memory and compute of 1 day for free. Right. Then you have something called uh, like D1, B1. If you go to production, you have more memory like P1, V2, which has 3.5 GB of memory and some others. Okay, so price also getting increases, right? So if you go to this P2, V3, it has 60 GB, 16 GB of memory and 4 virtual core, right? If you go down, you can see what all services they are giving. You can add custom domain to your URL, right? So you can auto scale your web app up to 30 instances. Staging slot you will get daily backups. You can take up to 50 times. You can use traffic manager. Okay, memory and storage will be this much. If I'm going to dev test, you see only memory and storage you will get. Okay, then custom domain you will get in D1. In D1 you will get manual scale up to 3 instance. Okay, so higher size you will get different type of services. Okay, if I'm selecting this 95, you can say memory sizes, all those increases, right? And there is something called isolated. Okay, so isolated has again some other features, right? Scale up, storage, TV, memory, and all those things. So the sizing here is different. How you select your pricing. I'm good with F1. I will say apply. Okay. You can see John redundant also. You can deploy your app service. Same concept of John redundant. We are not discussing it. Okay, so you can see deployment. You can directly integrate this web app if you have a code based library. Okay, GitHub. I can authorize to GitHub. I can select my organization. I can select repository and branch where my code is, and directly it will take code from there and we can deploy. No need to have a pipeline also. Then even networking, you can select it is PaaS services, so it depends on you. You wanted to select it or not. Okay. Monitoring tag, we all know. You can review and create. Okay. So we are going with .NET. Let's not create this. Okay. Let's search in Google like okay. Deploy Azure web app. No. Deploy .NET based application. .NET based web services in Azure web app using pipeline. Okay. So I was having that open already, right? Somewhere. Let me figure it out where it is open. In syllabus, I have some link for that. We'll set up a end-to-end pipeline for this. Okay. So deploy Azure Web App Services prerequisite. We are okay. Windows or Linux based. Build your app in Azure pipeline. .NET new web app. YAML pipeline. Okay. So this is .NET run. Upload your code. Create a new repository. Create a new repository. I'm looking for some code, existing code. This is just how to deploy. It doesn't say code. Okay. Let's try to follow some other documentation where they could have kept some code also, like application code I'm looking for here. DevOps, CI/CD using Azure DevOps step one, that is I'm okay with that. Mhm. Okay, leave it. I will search the code and I will upload it to DevOps and then I will go through there. Okay. And your searching is taking a little bit time. Somewhere I have seen it. Right now I'm not getting it. So that's okay. There is one more. Let's see that. Oh yes, the first thing itself, creative web app in Azure portal. You can use this sandbox. Okay, it has a complete details. Okay, what type of deployment you want, Java, Node, or Python, or C Sharp. You can activate the sandbox. Just create all those things. Okay, and you can deploy your type of okay web application .NET your application name using CI/CD enables frequent code deployment. So here you will get okay what type of create a new web project. Okay, from this document it has like four different type of application deployment to web app. Try to you can say deploy code to web app is the next. So if you go to that you will get code. Okay, manual deployment you have. Then if you follow this step you will get code. Okay, so here they are creating some applications in local and they are creating getting some code. Okay, so it's like based by cap something like that they are trying to create. Please follow them. You will get a code and just deploy all four type of applications. Okay, using this web app. So web app will be cleared if you deploy four different type of application using this one. I will share this.
Have you attached this link to our Gmail?
Yes, it has to be there. Okay, if not, I am
Okay.
just pasting it in chat. Just check it out. Okay.
Also send to our mail.
I'm not sure if it is updated there. I hope it will be. Uh, okay. Any questions in web app? It's like platform as a services, so nothing much to do. Okay. No firewall, no networking. Okay. So, okay. Let me deploy. Let me complete that at least. Let me deploy it. Okay. Let me create it. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, anyone has any other questions? You can discuss.
Nothing, sir. Nothing, sir, as of
Mhm. So web app, yes, just go and deploy these four different type. Okay, you will see how it works. Okay, deployment in progress. If I'm going to resource, that is my web app. Okay, I will get a URL here. Okay, I can access that URL. So in virtual machine, we are accessing using a IP address. In web app, you will get a URL directly. Okay, and that URL you can change. You have custom domain, something called here. Okay, you can add your own URL here in custom domain. Okay, on top of that. So this is F1, so it doesn't support custom domain. Let's try to change it, scale up to the D1. Okay, D1 support custom domain, right? Let's go to D1, apply. Yes, it is done. Let's go to custom domain once again. You can see there is some custom domain you can add, right? You can buy a new domain or you can add existing like abc.com or google.com, whatever it is, correct? You can search domain and you can add that also. So that is your web app with the custom domain. Nothing to do with this. This is same for everything. Deployments, slots, right? So we have discussed something about Flipkart, how they are able to release everything at midnight, 12 o'clock, right? So that is like the magic of this deployment slots, right? You can create multiple deployment slot and you can deploy same application to multiple slots and you can do your testing. At midnight, you just have to do a swap, right? And new type of application will be there. So that is the job of deployment slot. Okay, TSL, SSL, some other type of setting is there. This deployment center is like from where you wanted to deploy GitHub, Bitbucket, local Git, Azure repository, and all those things they are giving. So you can go through that also. There is a lot for web job, MySQL, push, clone app, okay, course API management and all other things. Okay. So basically, yes, you have so many functions available if you're going for web app. Okay, going through each of them will give you more understanding of it. Okay, so that's our web app. And yeah, you can see it says like your web app is running and waiting for your content, right? AG web app, whatever ABCD we have selected, right? Then you have deployment center and quick start, free guide. You can go through that and you can learn and deploy different type of code to your web app. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll meet tomorrow. Hopefully, if I'm ready with code, we'll go through a complete CD pipeline deployment. Okay, where we'll see how developer upload their code. We'll get it in a CI pipeline. We'll build it, and then we will deploy the same code to our web app. Okay, so a complete end-to-end CI/CD we'll see. And in same pipeline we'll see how to upload, we'll try to see how to like get the image and update in artifact repository. We'll try to integrate with some test pipeline. Okay, so we'll try to create that. If I'm ready with by today, we'll have tomorrow, otherwise we'll have it today after tomorrow. Okay, so to see the complete end-to-end flow is important in DevOps so that you can explain. We have seen how to create infrastructure pipeline, that I guess everyone can explain. Next, we will see how to deploy complete end-to-end web app using Azure DevOps pipeline. So that will complete our Azure DevOps basically. Okay, I'll stop here. Again, if anyone has any question, can ask, or we'll stop. Okay, let me stop recording. Okay, thank you.